My topic today is beach or mountain. Where do you want to live? What's good for you? Before I start, please tell your friends to get on my channel on YouTube, Rick Sykes 305. Tell your friends. I need people. You know, as I tell you all the time, I'm 10 years too late. So now I'm trying to build this thing up like there's no tomorrow. Please. This topic today is pretty interesting. The reason I say that is I've lived in both. And I'm going to tell you some crazy stuff that's happened to me. And you'll understand where I'm coming from when I tell you the story. I've got a million stories, folks. I really do. Good ones. And they're all true. And I do have a lot of things to tell you. And you all do listen to me. And I know that. You're always writing me and calling me and talking to me wherever I go. People stop me and say, is this true? Did this really happen? Everything I tell you is true. So what I'm going to tell you about right now is to live on a mountain or live on the beach. I lived in Connecticut, a little town called New Haven. It's a small city. And there's a place called Sleeping Giant Mountain, which is where I lived on top of a mountain. I had a beautiful glass house on top of a mountain. Good sized house. I mean, not huge, but a good sized house. Did I love it? Yeah, of course I loved it. I mean, in the fall, it was the most gorgeous thing you ever saw in your life. I had a 500-foot driveway. You had the trees all around the house, and in the fall, the colors were just magnificent. I tell you, I mean, I had stories like I remember one time in the spring, I was climbing the rocks behind my house on the mountain, and as I put a hand on one of the rocks, I looked up, and staring me right in the face was a copperhead snake. He was sunning him, or she was sunning themselves. They looked at me, I looked at the copperhead snake, and I slid down, and I was scared to death. That's just nature, you know. Who knows what's going to happen next? But did I like living on a mountain? Yes, I enjoyed it immensely. The snowstorms, they were beautiful. If I didn't have to go anywhere, it was great. If I had to go somewhere, sometimes it was a pain in the ass when you had the snowstorm, especially the big ones. But, you know, you take the good with the bad. I had a four-wheel Jeep, and I had a four-wheel Blazer, so I was able to cruise around, go through the woods and stuff like that. I used to beat the hell out of my cars going through the woods and stuff. It was a lot of fun, four-wheeling through the woods. And, you know, that was a lot of fun. But at the time, I also had a boat in a little town called Branford, Connecticut, which is on Long Island Sound. And it was a nice-sized boat. It was, I think, a 36-foot main ship boat. And it was a great weekend boat, a fabulous weekend boat. It had 2 bedrooms, good-sized boat. So I used to get the best of both worlds. I was in the mountain or I was on my boat. So one was by the beach and one was on the rocks. I like that, on the rocks. Well, I'm going to tell you a crazy story that happened to my house. And this is just crazy, but this is what happened. I was in Las Vegas, and I'm in Las Vegas, and I was with my former wife, and we're having a great time. It was just a small vacation in Vegas. And out of the clear blue sky, all of a sudden, my father calls me. And he says, Rick, you got to come home now. I said, why? What happened? He said, well, we had a major storm here in Connecticut, and a tornado went straight up the mountain where you live, went right through your house. Your house is demolished. How would you like that phone call? How would you like that phone call? My answer to him was this, nothing that he ever expected, nothing that I'm sure you would expect. My answer said, well, wait, if the house is demolished, what am I coming home for? Yes, I honestly did say that. My father said, are you crazy? I said, no. I said, do me a favor. I said, call a construction company, have them board up what's left of the house, and I'll be back in a couple of days. Does that make sense to you? You know, I mean, a lot of people think that that is moronic. But to me, it made sense. And today, it still makes sense. Why am I coming back to a demolished house when it's going to be sitting there 3 days from now anyway? Right? So I waited. I stayed in Las Vegas. I had some fun. I had a lot of fun. And then we went back and rebuilt the house. Was it fun rebuilding the house? Hell no. Did I make any money in insurance? Hell no. Did I do it? Yeah, I did it. I finished it. Lived in it again. You know. But in the meantime, while I was building the house, I moved on the boat. You know something? I loved living on the boat. And what happened in the future? Where am I now? I live on a beautiful yacht. Very happy here on a beautiful yacht. So I'm asking you folks, where would you rather live? In the mountains? Or would you rather live on the water or by a beach? You know, I've been on this boat through a couple of hurricanes, a couple of big storms. Is it crazy? Oh, you bet it is. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Nothing. I lived in the mountains, my house got demolished. I live on a boat, the boat rocks and rolls when you have these storms and stuff. Can it sink? Of course it can sink. But this is what life is all about. And people are always asking me, why are you so happy? You know why? I never know what to expect, but whatever does happen, I'm going to welcome it with open arms, figure out how to circumvent the problem, and go on with my life. So, do I want to live on the boat? Yes. But I will tell you something. If something does come my way in the very near future and says, hey, get off the boat and have a normal life, would I do it? Yeah. I would. But I don't know if anything's going to happen. At least not for a while. But I promise you, I would do it if the right situation comes along. You know? And I promise you something else. I make a lot of mistakes, but I learn from them. And that's the important thing. I do learn from my mistakes. And that's something I just want to touch on right now. By learning from my mistakes, folks, do yourself a favor. If somebody tells you that they're a life coach and they're going to solve your problems or help you with your problems, you know what? Don't be foolish. This is a new term that these people are using, life coach. And these life coaches, these 22, 24, 25-year-olds who think they can tell you something and teach you something, you got to be the biggest fool in the world to listen to them. What they're going to say? Oh, I learned it on the internet, and the internet doesn't lie. That's the biggest lie in the world. How are you going to learn from somebody? You're going to learn from somebody who has experience, a lot of experience. Keep that in mind. All right. So if somebody says, "I want to be your life coach," if they're not like 50, 60, 70 years old, just look at them and laugh. Well, you don't have to laugh at them, but inside laugh. Because you know something? They can't help you. They know less than anybody else. And when people tell you, oh, well, I learned it from school or I learned it on the internet, oh, stop. Don't be foolish. Don't be, I hate to use the word, don't be stupid. Keep this in mind. And if you have any questions or any doubts or you want to, tell me that I'm wrong or you agree with me, please don't hesitate. I love hearing from you all, and you know that. And I'm having so much fun with you all. Please tell your friends to get on my YouTube, Rick Sykes 305. And until then, have the most glorious, glorious time.